So a couple days ago, I posted this tweet saying there was something special about these two Illuvials that can't be said about any other Illuvial. In this video, I'm going to tell you what that is and how you can use this information to build what I believe is the best possible deck with the information we have and also the best budget deck. Hey, my name's Nick. You're watching GameFi Plays. If you're new here, I post mostly about Illuvium, and you should definitely subscribe to this channel. So I'm not going to waste too much time. Let's get right into it. So the last YouTube video I posted, I'll leave a link down below, was a breakdown of this chart. Now, we don't know all the details about all these Illuvials, but we do have the complete list of the names of the Illuvials along with their affinities and classes. I'm not going to get too much into this chart because this is what I broke down in my last video, but I basically made this chart breaking it down. And the real information this provides is the number of Illuvials for each tier, along with the amount of stacks for each affinity and class. A couple quick things to note is that most affinities or most composite affinities will only give you up to 2 stacks possible in the whole first generation. But there are a few that will give you 3 stacks for both the affinities and the classes. So again, here are the 2 Illuvials that I say have a unique quality. And what that is that each of them have an affinity and a class that can contribute to 3 stacks of that affinity and that class. Now, these are the only 2 Illuvials that do this. So Shock can have up to 3 stacks. Invoker can have up to 3 stacks. Mud can have up to 3 stacks. And Mystic can have up to 3 stacks. Now, how does this work into deck composition? So first, let's look at what I'm calling the top deck, given the information that we have. You start out with what we have here with the Aphisto, if I'm saying that correctly, and you follow it up with the 2nd and 3rd Shock, along with the 2nd and 3rd Invoker. So these 5 are going to be your core part of this deck. Now, when a 2nd and a 3rd generation come around, the way I'm looking at this won't hold too much weight, but the game hasn't even been released yet. So by the time we get to a 2nd generation, we could be well over a year down the road. And I did say that these 2 Illuvials are both capable of this same thing. But this Illuvial is going to be based around higher tier Illuvials. So it in itself is a tier 5. In this core group, there's another tier 5, tier 2, and 2 tier 1s. And if you're looking at the rest here, basically what I did was I made this blue section as your stage 2 Illuvials that are going to be a core part. And then down here, we have your stage 1 Illuvials plus some links. In the black here are just some additional options if you want to expand beyond what I have in the color. And so we're looking at the Aphisto, the Stage 3 Tree King, and the Red Panda. Now, we don't know much about what the Tree King and Red Panda does, but the fact that you can get 3 stacks of a synergy with it, as well as getting 3 stacks of the Invoker synergy, should give you quite the advantage over really any other setup, almost regardless of what the actual Illuvial can do. And if you do get a chance to get these 5 onto the board and you feel like you're missing something in your deck, you still have 3 more spots to fill in with almost any other Illuvial to fill that missing role. And if you go down to this blue section, you can see it's basically just the stage 2 versions of those first 5. And then you go a little lower and we have the stage 1s along with the 2 links. And if you go down even further, I kind of break down the base stacks that you have here. With this deck, you're going to be focusing primarily on poison and fire. Keep in mind the base synergy stacks are 3, 6, and 9, while the composite synergy stacks are 2, 3, and 4. So if this were your deck and you played this out the right way, you should be able to get the 3 stacks of Shock, 3 stacks of Invoker, 9 stacks of Scion, and the 9 stacks of Fire, which is about as good as it's going to get for this first generation. Now, like always, when I'm putting this together, it makes a whole lot more sense in my head than is probably coming out in this video. So if you have any questions, feel free to just comment down below or find me on Discord and send me a message. But let's just talk quickly about the budget deck. Now you can see right away that this whole budget deck is based on tier 1 Illuvials. Obviously there's going to be tier 0 Illuvials that you could throw in the mix as well. You can actually get some good synergy stacks, even just sticking with your tier 1 Illuvials. So the 3 mud apes, you have the Apon, Monkier, and Gorilla. That's going to give you the 3 stacks of mud, and that's going to be the only tier 1 Illuvials that will give you 3 stacks of a composite synergy. Now, like the Aphisto, you could take this Mystic and get 3 stacks of the synergy with that as well, but then you're going to be looking at, I believe, a tier 3 and a tier 4 Illuvial, and I'm keeping this as the budget deck, so I am not adding those Illuvials in. And if you look down below, you're seeing that this is going to be a deck that's based around Earth and also Air, and then you have Scion and Rogue as your classes. So this actually gives you a little bit more of an option when it comes to what you're putting on the board based on what your opponent's deck looks like. But again, here we have your core 5 that you're looking at. You have some of their stage 2s and then down to their stage 1s. So I just wanted to throw that together real quick. Like I've been saying in my last few videos, is that prices are going down. The financial part of it is not quite as fun anymore. So I'm really just trying to dig deeper into the game itself. I know a lot of people are focusing on the survival mode, and there's a lot of great coaches out there. But really, I don't think that's going to transfer too well when it comes to player versus player and coming up with your own deck. And in my opinion, putting together the best possible deck is going to be just as, if not more important, than how you actually put the Illuvials down on the board. So I'm going to be looking through the Illuvials, the synergies, the classes, and doing some more theory crafting. You know, hopefully we get this game coming out soon, and I want to be as prepared as possible. And if you like this kind of stuff and you want to do some theory crafting with me, then subscribe to this channel, watch these videos, send me a message on Discord or Twitter or comment down here, and we can discuss more about it. Let's have fun with it, right? But that's it. Have a good one.